Welcome, Group B or Group T2. I will see you tomorrow in class, but this is your at-home activity. It is Monday, September 28th. Let's look at what we're going to be learning about. We're going to be learning about the Bill of Rights, and then we're going to be talking about the Great Law of Peace from the Iroquois and how it influenced our Constitution. You're doing a note sheet today, so you're watching this video, and then you're going to be filling out the note sheet as we go, and that's what you're going to turn in today. There's a fire drill tomorrow, so just be aware of that. I think it's in first hour. And then you have a test on Friday. So on Friday, I'm going to have a 9 a.m. Zoom for review. We're going to play Kahoot or Gimkit or some other game. That's optional. 10 a.m. I'll be available for individual questions if you need to finish up your study guide or get other things answered. And then anytime during Friday, you can test on your own time, and I'll explain that later. You will receive a paper copy of the study guide in class tomorrow, but you have an electronic copy that you got with Friday's assignment. You should have made yourself a copy, but I'll give you a paper copy tomorrow. So let's get started. You learned on Friday a little bit about the Constitution being a living document, so go ahead and write the definition in that box. Again, pause whenever you need to. It's a living document, which means you can change it. We can add on to it. And this is important because although the Founding Fathers had a great foundation for our government, things change, viewpoints change, and like technology changes, and we need to make sure that our document can keep up with the times. However, you don't want it to be able to change willy-nilly, so it is an extremely hard process to be able to add an amendment or take an amendment away. So it's very hard to do, but if we need to do it, we can do it. When we make these changes, excuse me, I'm kind of cough. When we make these changes, it is called an amendment. So a change or addition to the Constitution is called an amendment. Write it in there. Again, pause if you need to. When the original Constitution was written, they left some stuff out, and some of the Founding Fathers felt it needed to be added, and others didn't want it to be added, so it ended up being added late. And these the first 10 things that were added are called the Bill of Rights. So we actually have 27 amendments that have been added to the U.S. Constitution, so 27 changes, and the first 10 of them are called the Bill of Rights, and they have a special name, and they were all added at the same time, so we're going to add that. So the Bill of Rights, the first 10 amendments to the Constitution. And so the Constitution we can think of as the government kind of setup, or the document that sets up those three branches and kind of lays out how you have to be president, and how many people are going to be in the Senate, and how many are going to be in the House of Representatives. And then the Bill of Rights, the reason they wanted to add it, because some of the forefathers felt that there wasn't anything protecting individuals and individual rights, and we'll talk more about that today. So you have the government versus the individual rights, and that's what you want to write into your notes there. I'll take that away. There you go. Okay, so now you are going to watch a video about how this all came about, and it is linked. I'm going to move this up. It is number 2, Bill of Rights video. So go ahead and watch the Bill of Rights video, and then you're going to tell me again. Let's do this. What are the Bill of Rights in general? Okay, so go ahead and pause this video and watch this Bill of Rights video. Okay, I assume that you have come back, and your answers for what are the Bill of Rights could be the first 10 amendments to the Constitution, individual rights that were given to people, those type of things. When we look at primary sources, we can actually work backwards from the primary source to tell us what was happening at the time. So we're going to work on that today. So we're going to watch this very short video. I call it the kid video. You're going to watch it. I recommend watching it a couple of times. It's pretty funny. It's only a minute and a half. And then I want you to think about, these are the rules that these kids are making. What has happened to them in the past that they have made these rules. So go ahead and pause my video and watch the kid video a couple times. Okay, you're back. So we want to think about what has happened to these kids in the past that they are making these rules. So for example, one kid says, you know, they want to have recess all the time. Obviously, that kid does not get enough recess or does not feel that they get enough recess. Another kid was talking about getting candy all the time. So one thing that they probably have happening in their life is that they don't get a lot of candy. So I want you to come up with 3 things from the kids. What has happened in their life based on the rules that they came up with in their video? Okay. We can do the same thing with the Bill of Rights. So I'm actually going to take this part out. Like that. So we're going to look at the Bill of Rights and do the same thing you just did with the kids. We're going to think about the founding fathers and how they wrote the Bill of Rights, and then think about what must have been happening to them at the time that they were going to write these Bill of Rights. So I'm going to do the first one with you. So you're going to open up this PDF, and the top is just the preamble, so kind of an intro. But then we have the 10 amendments or changes to the Constitution. So let's take the first one. And this is old-timey language, so you're using your brain here. It says, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion. Okay, it's saying that the government can't make people be a certain religion. So based on that, I would say, well, the British made the colonists be one religion. Okay. So let's do another one. Where's my document? Is it all the way over here? No. There it is. Okay, let's do, okay, here we go. No soldier shall, in time of peace, be quartered in a house. Quartered means live in the house. So that one means the British made the colonists house soldiers. The British, so when the American Revolution started up and the American colonists started to complain about what was happening, the British sent more soldiers, and they didn't have anywhere for the soldiers to live, so they made the colonists house the soldiers, and they made pay for their food, they made them pay for their beer, and so one of the rules that the colonists wanted to make right away in the Bill of Rights was the government cannot make you put a soldier in your house. And so that's an example of how this document can tell us what was happening at the time when the colonists made these rules, because a lot of the rules they make was what the British government was doing to them right away. So what I want you to do, and you're going to shoot for 13 more, is go through this Bill of Rights document and find out 13 more things that were happening to the colonists at the time to make them want to make these rules. So for instance, they had a rule, again, that Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion. Well, I would say then that the British made the colonists be a certain religion. And then my second example was no soldier shall in time of peace be quartered in the house, which tells me that the British made the colonists house those soldiers. Okay, pause the video, go back and do those 13. Okay, welcome back. We're going to go over that list tomorrow in class, so you need to have that ready to go. All right. If you'll remember from our conversation in the last couple of weeks, there was a King of England. We didn't want the King of England. Our first type of government we tried to create were called the Articles of Confederation, which treated each of these states like separate countries. That didn't go very well. It was kind of chaotic. And so they rewrote the government to have one uniting document, which was the Constitution, which still exists today. We actually get influence for the Constitution from the Iroquois nation. The Iroquois lived right along kind of the St. Lawrence Seaway. They had 6 separate nations, so similar to how we had 13 separate colonies. They had 6 separate nations, and they were having issues between the nations, and so they decided to unite the nations under one law called the Great Law of Peace. So their leaders got together and talked about the Great Law of Peace. It was actually an oral tradition, but it was the tradition was kept on a kind of a beaded belt. The history was kept on a beaded belt. And the founding fathers knew about this Great Law of Peace, and it actually influenced the Constitution at the time. And so you're going to watch a video about how the Constitution was influenced by the Iroquois. So what I want you to do is watch the video, and then you're going to give me 2 specific examples of things we got from, ideas we got from the Iroquois that are in our U.S. government, okay? And then explain in general how the Iroquois Great Law of Peace and the U.S. Constitution are connected, okay? And when you're done with that, you will turn in your sheet. Please email me or Google Chat with any questions. I hope you found today's lesson interesting, and I will see you tomorrow.